Hi friends, I'm Chelsea and I am here with my November TBR. So I'm going to go ahead and say what everybody else is saying right now, that I cannot believe it's already November. Just going to put that out there. This is the last month of fall reading for me, basically. You may remember I made a fall TBR back in September, and so I'm trying to finish that. I'm working my way through it. Thought it would be fun to get back to the TBR jar since I'm back home and have all my prompts. I did add some new prompts as well. So last month I did like a spinner wheel, and then I didn't do a TBR for the month of September, I don't think. So I'm excited to do the TBR jar. It's been a couple months and it's always really fun and exciting. I have a couple books that I already want to read for sure, and I'm hoping to prioritize the rest of my fall TBR, like I said. But I have also acquired some new books that I'm excited about, so we'll just see where the TBR goes. As always, I have a couple like book club books that I'm planning to read, some buddy reads, but I think I'm gonna wait and see if any of the prompts match up with those, and if not, then I'll tell you what those are at the end of the video. So far this month, I've already finished one book, and that is Butcher and Blackbird, which I know some of y'all will be excited to hear my thoughts on that. I'm already over halfway through Us Against You, which is the November pick for Ellen Made Book Club. So almost done with that one. I'll probably finish that in like a day or so. Otherwise, I'm just going to do some prompts. I will probably do like 5 or 6 TBR jar prompts, because if I don't get any of my book club choices, then I'll have to add those. So yeah, I think like 6 prompts feels like a good number, but we'll just see where we go from here. So very exciting to get back to the TBR jar. And here is the first one. This is a new prompt. Okay, this one says Mom Picks. Okay, I'm going to have to send probably like a picture of the books that I'm hoping to pick. How do I want to do this? So I think I'm just going to stack up some books. Really hope this pile doesn't fall over. You might be able to see it. And take a little snapshot of this. And those are my 2 like priority stacks, so I'll send her that and see what she says. She is currently babysitting Juniper, my daughter, so she might not get back to me right away, and she loves to read as well. She might not know any of these books. She doesn't read like a lot of fantasy or anything, so she might not know any of these. All right, we'll see what she says. That is fun. I had one that was a friend pick several months back, and my friend Michelle picked Six of Crows, which is one of my top books from this year, so maybe my mom will pick one of my new favorite books as well. Okay. Number 2, this is another new one that I put in. I didn't see it, I promise. Wonderful. It's a book I've been putting off. Okay. I need to look at my options here. I feel like I have been putting off Ninth House. I just bought it like 2 months ago, but it has been on my TBR for quite some time, and it's one that I feel a little intimidated by for some reason. So I think that could count as one that I've been putting off, and it's also very like fall vibes. It's like dark academia fantasy, so Ninth House could be a good one for books I've been putting off. I'm planning to read, this is so small, Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. And I wouldn't say I'm putting it off necessarily, but she's a thick one. So I'm not like super excited to read it, but also am excited because I'm loving this series. Anyway, okay, for book I've been putting off, I think I am going to pick Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. That feels good for fall, but it feels accurate. And I'm also waiting for the audiobook for this one as well, and I think it should come in fairly soon. All I know really is that this is a dark academia with like fantasy, supernatural, paranormal elements, I believe. It's set in Yale and it follows Alex, who is a freshman, and she discovers a lot of weird things like secret societies. That's all I know really. I like to go in blind. It's definitely a thicker book. I've heard that it's kind of dense and hard to get into at first, but once you get past like the 100-page mark, that it really starts to take off. So yeah, we'll see how I feel about this one if I get to it in the month of November. Okay, prompt number 3. Try not to look here. Okay, here is prompt number 3. Subscribers choose, and this says poll on community tab. So, okay, I'm getting a lot of like, someone chooses. What should I do? Like maybe put 2 to 4 book options in a community poll. Let's take a second here and figure out which books to take a picture of for everyone to choose. Okay, so my options for the subscribers choose were Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. This is the sequel to One Dark Window, which I read in October and really loved. So I do want to read the sequel pretty soon. The second choice is All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. This is actually my in-person book club book, so I'm cheating a little because I'm planning to start this like today or tomorrow, but still put it in there. And then a third is from my fall TBR, which is Where the Dark Stands Still. Again, love this cover so much, and it's just like a cozy, I don't know if it's cozy, it's fantasy, that's all I know. So a couple fantasy options and a just like literary mystery. I think we might not have answers quite just yet on the community tab. I might have to just update you when I'm editing the video because it might take a day or so to get enough answers for that one. And I think I have an update from my mom. She said, "Oh, Caledonia." Okay, yeah, so my mom picked Oh Caledonia by Elspeth Barker, which is great for a couple reasons. First of all, it's pretty short, so that seems pretty doable. Secondly, if you remember a couple of months back, I did like a blind date with a book and I picked this up. I know nothing about it really. I put it on my fall TBR though because I wanted to read it sooner than later instead of putting it off for a very long time. So I'm glad that she is kind of pushing me to read this book because I might not have picked it otherwise. Oh Caledonia is a darkly humorous modern classic about a doomed adolescent girl. It's set in Scotland, and I think it's kind of just like a coming of age, dark, gothic kind of story. I think I should be able to read this. It's like under 200 pages, which I love. Thank you, Mother, for choosing that one. Now I'm getting confused about how many books we picked. Let's see. Okay, so 3, that was the third prompt. Prompt number 3, I don't know yet because that was my subscribers choose. Here's prompt number 4. Okay, number 4 is random number generator. A lot of these prompts are really making me do some work that takes a lot of time. It's very interesting. Okay, so now I need to think about how I'm gonna go about this. It's keeping me on my toes, you know? I guess I can put the number of books that I kind of want to choose from, count those up, and then do like a spinner wheel, or maybe not a spinner wheel. Hold on, let me just Google random number generator. I've clearly never done this before. Let's see what shows up when I do random number generator. Let me count how many books. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 books that I'm kind of picking from here. So I'm going to put 16. I'm going to shuffle it up a couple times. This is not anything exciting. It's literally just the Google result that says 1 to 16. I'm clicking the button that says generate and it gives me a number. So, okay, it gave me number 7. You can see that maybe. I'm going to count this stack first, and then if it goes past this, I'm going to count the next stack. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 books in this stack. And I'm going to go to the next stack we have here. So 6, 7 is our 7th book. And this is kind of random. This is a book I picked up when I was away from home because I didn't have a lot of books with me, and I saw it for like $2 at an antique store. It's sci-fi. I've never read this author before, but I'm very intrigued by it. So it's Recursion by Blake Crouch, and I think it's like sci-fi thriller actually. Really don't know much. I know he wrote Dark Matter, which is pretty popular, and I think this one kind of follows a group or maybe a duo of detectives who are looking into this like epidemic, disease, plague kind of thing, trying to figure out what's going on with that. That's all I know. Lots of twists and turns from what I think, and I'm very intrigued by this one. I don't know if I've ever read a book of this particular genre, so that sounds intriguing for sure. So I have 4. Now I'm on prompt number 5, and hoping that 1 or 2 of the books that I was already planning to read gets picked. Always how it goes. You are always hoping for that, and then they never get picked. Okay, so prompt number 5. Here's another older one. This says, excited to read. Okay, I love that. That gives me some options here. And I do have 2 library books that I would like to read sooner than later. I think I know I'm going to pick one of those library books, and this is actually a newer release. I don't know when it came out. I think in September, but this was in my anticipated fall releases, and I got it from the library, and this is The Village Library Demon Hunting Society by C.M. Wagoner. There's a cat on the cover. It's like a cozy fantasy mystery, I think, that's clearly very bookish. This says it's a mix of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Murder, She Wrote. That sounds pretty fun. I think it's pretty short too. Yeah, it's just barely over 300 pages. So a book I'm excited to read is a new release that sounds really fun. And this is prompt number 6. Okay, here's a long one. I just did this prompt. Last book I gave a 5-star. Read a book by an author that has blurbed/reviewed it. Okay, again, going on a little scavenger hunt here. I think the last book I gave a 5-star to was, I'm pulling up my Goodreads just to make sure. Okay, yeah, it was Beartown, which I read a couple weeks or like a week ago. It was a reread and it was 5 stars both times that I read it. And so what is this? Read a book by an author that has blurbed or reviewed Beartown. Let me check the cover of Beartown and see if there's any authors like with blurbs on it. And I don't even know if this will work because who knows if I even have any books by an author that's blurbed this book. So let's see. So far we just have like newspapers who have blurbed this book. Yeah, literally nothing on here is by an author. It's all like Book List, the Oprah magazine, Wall Street Journal, Washington Times, People. I don't know. It's going to take quite a bit of time to find someone who's blurbed this book. Okay, so I like that prompt, but I've already had to do a lot of searching for certain things, and I don't really feel like searching for an author who has blurbed this book. So I'm going to use a skip on this one. I loved Beartown. I'm sure whoever blurbed it is great, but I don't feel like spending more time because this is already longer than I expected. So I'm going to skip that one and do my 6th prompt again. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, here's another new one that looks kind of long. Okay, so, oh boy, I remember doing this one too. Pick a musical artist, shuffle their discography, and find a book that fits the song. That's pretty fun. I saw it on someone else's video as like a recommendation for a TBR jar prompt. And so here we go again, doing another task. Okay, so fun fact, my favorite artist is Taylor Swift. Not anything revolutionary here. I've loved her since her first album. I still love her. And so I'm just going to go to Spotify and shuffle her discography, I guess. I don't know. I don't have premium, so we'll see how this works. Oh, an advertisement. Wonderful. I might just go to YouTube actually. What did it say? Shuffle their discography and find a book that fits the song that gets picked. Okay. I don't know if all her songs are on Spotify. I mean, YouTube. This is fun. I'm going to try Spotify again and just sit through the ads, I guess. Okay, here we go. Willow was the first one that showed up. Love this song. There she is. Oh, it's playing. Okay, Willow. This is on Evermore, I believe. I always get Folklore and Evermore confused because they're very similar in style. Willow definitely has kind of like a dark fairy tale feel. It's very moody, actually really good for fall. It feels like a perfect fall song. Pretty much everything on Folklore and Evermore fits fall, so that is great. Let me look at some lyrics here. I'm like the water when your ship rolled in that night, rough on the surface, but you cut through like a knife. Life was a willow and it bent right to your wind, as if you were a mythical thing. More that you say, the less I know. Wherever you stray, I follow. I'm begging for you to take my hand. Wreck my plans, that's my man. Obviously, kind of like a romance situation, but kind of on the darker side. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to read too much into this. I might just kind of think like a dark, whimsical, folksy, fairy tale, fantasy kind of feel, especially if you've seen the music video. Definitely has those vibes. Honestly, it feels like Two Twisted Crowns would really fit this, but that might get picked for my community, like subscribers choose. I'm curious about this. This is a book that I'm planning to read because it'll be a buddy read. And honestly, I don't know how well this fits, but kind of like the gothic, darker feel. It's not fantasy, I don't think. I'm just going to hope that this kind of fits the vibe. I feel like it kind of could. I don't know if I'm cheating here. I think I'm going to go with this, and let me know if you've read this book, if it feels like it fits the vibe of Willow. This is The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield, and I think I might do this as a buddy read with Jessica from Jessica's Library Card. She loves this book and is planning to reread it in November, and so this just says up here, sometimes when you open the door to the past, what you confront is your destiny. Literally all I know is that this book is great for fall. It has like gothic kind of vibes. It's bookish, dark, kind of strange. This says something about a ghost, a governess, a topiary garden, and a devastating fire. So I feel like that could fit the vibes of Willow. It might be a bit of a stretch, but you know, this is my TBR and I'm planning to read this book. So we're just going to go with it. That was book number 6, and I'm going to stop it there because I'm also planning to read Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson again. The thickest one so far. The 5th book comes out in December, so I'm really trying to catch up. I am waiting for the audiobook so I can kind of go back and forth. 4th book in the Stormlight Archive, just building up in intensity. I'm not going to say anything else besides that, but I'm planning to read this hopefully in November. It might be more towards the end of the month. So that is quite a bit there. It's always a little more than I expect, but that's okay. So let me do a quick recap because I feel like I can't even remember what just happened. That was kind of all over the place. Okay, like I said, I'm currently reading Us Against You, so I will finish that pretty soon. And then for a book I've been putting off, I picked Ninth House. For Mom's pick, she picked O Caledonia. For Excited to Read, I picked The Village Library Demon Hunting Society. Every time. It's such a mouthful. For the song that fits, or for the book rather, that fits the vibe of Willow by Taylor Swift, I picked The 13th Tale, which is also a buddy read. For Random Number Generator, I got Recursion by Blake Crouch. And then, like I said, planning to read Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. Then we'll let you know when I find out what my subscribers choose. It's between All the Colors of the Dark, Where the Dark Stands Still, and Two Twisted Crowns. We have kind of a dark theme here. And like I said, I'm definitely planning to read All the Colors of the Dark for my book club in person. So that's getting read regardless. But I may read one of these too. Lots of books as usual. This is a pretty busy month work-wise and still kind of getting into a routine after everything with the hurricane. So who knows? I might be crazy for putting all these books on my TBR, but it's always just a fun little place to start, pile of possibilities and whatnot. Let me know, as always, what your thoughts are about these books, and if you want to do any buddy reads of any of these, what's on your November TBR. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!